Welcome, beloved child of God. Settle in now. Find that comfortable position where your body can truly rest. Let your shoulders release. Let your breathing slow. Tonight, we're going on a gentle journey together. A journey into the heart of the one who designed love itself. As you close your eyes, know that you are held. You are seen. You are cherished beyond measure. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let go of the day's worries. Breathe in God's peace. Breathe out any anxiety about your heart, your relationships, your future. One more deep breath. In through your nose. Hold for just a moment, and slowly release. Feeling your whole body sink deeper into rest. Tonight, dear one, we discover together that one beautiful thing, that one sacred truth that changes everything about how love flows in your life. It's not what you might expect. It's simpler than you think, and it's been available to you all along. Let your breathing find its natural rhythm now, as we begin this peaceful journey into God's heart for your love story. Chapter 1. The Garden of Your Heart Picture. If you will, a garden. Your heart is like this sacred space, and the master gardener has been tending it with such tender care. Before you ever thought about love, before you ever wondered about your future partner, he was there, preparing the soil of your soul. In this garden of your heart, there grows something beautiful, something that makes love flourish like nothing else can. It's not your appearance, though you are fearfully and wonderfully made. It's not your accomplishments, though God celebrates every step of your journey. The one thing, this precious thing that makes someone love you twice as much, is your rootedness in who you are as God's beloved. Let this truth settle gently into your spirit, like morning dew on flower petals. When you know, deeply know, that you are loved, unconditionally by the Creator of the universe, something shifts in how you move through relationships. Something changes in how you give and receive love. Sarah discovered this truth on a quiet Tuesday morning. She had been searching for love in all the familiar places, dating apps, social events, hoping someone would see her worth. But that morning, as she sat with her Bible and a cup of tea, something shifted. She realized she had been trying to earn love from others because she had forgotten she was already completely loved. As this truth took root in Sarah's heart, as she began to live from this place of being beloved, rather than trying to become beloved, people began to notice something different about her. There was a peace in her presence, a confidence that wasn't arrogant, but was quietly certain. She wasn't desperate for attention because she already had the attention of the one who mattered most. And when love finally came, when David walked into her life, he found himself drawn not to what she could do for him, but to who she was, rooted, grounded, secure in a love itself. Let your breathing deepen as you rest in this truth. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to perform or prove. You are already, right now, in this moment, completely and utterly beloved. Chapter 2. The river of trust. Your journey continues now along a gentle river. This river represents trust, flowing trust in the one who knows your heart better than you know it yourself. Marcus learned about this river the hard way. For years, he had tried to control his love story, planning every detail, forcing timing, pushing doors that weren't ready to open. He was exhausted from trying to make love happen on his timeline. But rivers teach us something beautiful about love. They flow in their own time, following the landscape God has prepared. Fighting the current only creates turbulence, but surrendering to the flow brings peace. As you rest here by this river of trust, let its gentle sound wash over you. Feel how the water moves with such purpose, even when you can't see around the bend. This is how God's timing works in your love story. With purpose, with direction, even when you can't see what's coming next. The one thing that made someone love Marcus twice as much was witnessing his surrender, his trust, the way he had learned to rest in God's timing rather than fighting it. His future wife, Alina, would later tell him that what drew her most was seeing a man who trusted God enough to wait well, to live fully in the present while believing in God's good future. Trust, this beautiful surrender. It doesn't mean being passive. It means being actively peaceful, living with open hands and an open heart, knowing that the God who created love itself is writing your story. Feel your muscles relaxing as you consider this. The relief of not having to control everything. The peace of trusting the one who sees the whole picture. Let this trust flow through you like a gentle river, carrying away your fears and anxieties. The season of preparation. Every love story has its seasons. And winter, dear one, is not punishment, it's preparation. In the quiet months before spring, beneath the surface, roots grow deeper, strength develops, beauty prepares to burst forth. Anna understood this after her third winter. 3 relationships had ended, each one teaching her something precious about herself, about love, about God's heart. At first, she thought the winters meant she was failing, but slowly she began to see them as necessary seasons of growth. During her seasons of singleness, Anna learned to enjoy her own company. She discovered hobbies that brought her joy. She deepened friendships that would later support her marriage. She learned to pray not just for a husband, but for her own heart to be ready for love. The one thing that would make someone love Anna twice as much was her wholeness. Not perfection, but wholeness. The way she had learned to be content as one person while remaining open for partnership. She wasn't looking for someone to complete her, because she had learned that God already made her complete. When James met Anna, he found himself drawn to her independence, her joy, the way she had opinions and dreams, and a life that was full and meaningful. She wasn't waiting for life to begin with marriage. She was living life and trusting that love would find its way into her beautiful, full existence. Rest in this truth tonight. Your season of preparation is not a holding pattern. It's sacred time when God shapes your heart, builds your character, prepares you for the kind of love that will multiply joy rather than simply fill emptiness. Let your breathing slow as you consider the beauty of preparation, like a garden in winter, gathering strength for the blooming season ahead. The dance of vulnerability, love, is a dance, a beautiful back and forth of revealing and receiving, of opening and welcoming. And the one thing that makes someone love you twice as much is your courage to be genuinely yourself, vulnerably, beautifully yourself. Thomas learned this lesson through heartbreak. He had spent years crafting the perfect image, saying what he thought others wanted to hear, being who he thought others wanted him to be. But masks are exhausting to wear, and eventually they slip. After his last relationship ended, Thomas found himself alone with God and his own reflection. Who am I really? He asked. What do I actually enjoy? What are my real dreams, my authentic fears, my genuine hopes? Slowly, carefully, Thomas began to remove the masks. He started sharing his actual thoughts in conversations. He admitted when he didn't know something. He laughed at his own quirks instead of hiding them. He let people see his passion for photography, even though it seemed impractical. The transformation was remarkable. People began responding to Thomas differently. His friendships deepened. His conversations became more meaningful. And when love came, it came to the real Thomas, not the version he thought would be more acceptable. Rachel fell in love with his genuine laughter, the way his eyes lit up when he talked about capturing light in photographs, the way he admitted when he was nervous, the way he asked thoughtful questions because he genuinely wanted to know her heart. Vulnerability, dear one, is not weakness. It's the courage to be seen, and being truly seen by someone who chooses to love what they discover. This is the foundation of love that lasts. As you rest here in the quiet, consider the relief of being known, really known, and loved anyway. This is what God offers you. Complete knowledge paired with complete love. And this is what He's preparing you to offer another. The light of identity in the beginning, God spoke light into existence, and He spoke that same light into you. You carry divine light, beloved. And when you know this, when you truly believe this, it changes how you enter every room, every conversation, every relationship. Miriam discovered her light during a season of rejection. 3 job interviews had ended in "we'll let you know." A relationship had ended with "I think we're better as friends." She was beginning to wonder if there was something fundamentally wrong with her. But in her pain, Miriam turned toward the light. She began to spend her mornings in prayer, reminding herself of who God said she was. Beloved daughter, chosen, set apart, filled with purpose, carrying unique gifts that the world needed. Slowly, Miriam's posture changed, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. She walked into rooms differently. She spoke with gentle authority. She laughed more freely. She stopped apologizing for taking up space. The one thing that made someone love Miriam twice as much was this inner light, this unshakable knowledge of her worth. When Peter met her at a coffee shop, he was struck not by her beauty, though she was beautiful, but by her presence. The way she seemed comfortable in her own skin. The way she listened with genuine interest. The way she shared her thoughts without needing his approval. This light, dear one, is not something you create. It's something you remember. You don't have to earn your worth or prove your value. You simply have to remember who you already are. A child of the Most High God, created with intention, loved without condition, destined for good things. Let this truth sink deep into your bones as you rest. You are light. You carry light. And the right person will be drawn to your light, like flowers turn toward the sun. The rhythm of rest. God created rhythm into the very fabric of existence. Day and night. Seasons cycling. Heartbeat steady. And in your love story, there is rhythm too. Times of seeking and times of resting. Times of hoping and times of being content. David learned about sacred rest during his longest season of singleness. All around him, friends were getting married, having children, building families. He felt the pressure to hurry, to force, to make something happen. But in his quiet moments with God, he heard a different invitation. An invitation to rest in the present. Rest doesn't mean giving up. Rest means trusting. It means living fully in today while believing in God's tomorrow. David began to see his single years not as time lost, but as time given. Time to travel, to serve, to grow, to become the man his future wife would need. The one thing that made someone love David twice as much was his peace. The way he wasn't anxious about the future. The way he could be fully present in conversations. The way he enjoyed life as it was while remaining open to how it could become. When Sarah met David, she was immediately drawn to his settled spirit. Here was a man who wasn't frantically searching. wasn't desperate to be completed, wasn't using dating as an escape from loneliness. He was a whole person, living a full life, trusting God's timing. Rest, beloved. Rest in this moment. Rest in God's sovereignty over your story. Rest in the knowledge that your worth isn't determined by your relationship status. You are complete in Christ. You are loved right now. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment. Feel your body sinking deeper into rest. Feel your mind releasing its grip on timelines and expectations. Breathe in the peace of God's perfect timing. Breathe out the anxiety of human hurry. Chapter 7. The Garden of Forgiveness. Every heart carries some stones. Disappointments from past relationships. Wounds from those who didn't recognize your worth. Hurt from dreams delayed. But forgiveness, dear one, is the garden tool that clears the ground for new growth. Lisa's heart was heavy with stones. Betrayal from a previous relationship. Rejection from someone she'd hoped would see her value. Disappointment from dreams that hadn't unfolded as expected. She carried these stones everywhere, and they made her movements heavy, her trust cautious, her hope fragile. But forgiveness isn't about excusing others' behavior. It's about freeing your own heart. Lisa learned this slowly, gently, through many conversations with God. She began to release the stones one by one, not because those who hurt her deserved it, but because she deserved freedom. The process was gradual. Some days she felt lighter, other days the stones seemed to return. But God was patient with her process. He never rushed her healing. He simply invited her, again and again, into the freedom of forgiveness. The one thing that made someone love Lisa twice as much was her freedom. The way she had learned to love without defensiveness, to trust without cynicism, to hope without fear. Her heart was spacious, uncluttered by old hurt, ready for new love. When Michael met Lisa, he was amazed by her openness. Here was someone who had clearly been hurt, but hadn't let hurt harden her. She asked thoughtful questions, without interrogating. She shared her heart, without dumping her past. She was cautious, without being closed. Forgiveness had made room in Lisa's heart. Room for new love to grow. Room for trust to develop. Room for joy to flourish. Tonight, beloved, consider what stones you might be carrying. Old disappointments, past hurts, dreams that didn't unfold as expected. You don't have to carry these stones. God invites you to lay them down, to forgive not for others' sake, but for your own freedom. Let your breathing carry away any tension you hold from past disappointments. Breathe in God's healing. Breathe out old pain. Feel your heart becoming spacious and free, the mirror of love when you know you are beloved by God. When this truth settles deep in your spirit, something beautiful happens. You begin to love others the way God loves you, freely, generously, without condition. And this kind of love is irresistibly attractive. Jordan discovered this truth in an unexpected place, volunteering at a homeless shelter. As he served meals and listened to stories, Jordan began to see how God loved each person there, not for what they could offer, but simply because they existed. Not for their potential, but for their inherent worth. This revelation changed how Jordan approached all his relationships. He stopped keeping score in conversations. He stopped trying to impress and started trying to bless. He listened more deeply. He served more joyfully. He loved more freely. The one thing that made someone love Jordan twice as much was experiencing this kind of love from him. When Emma first met Jordan, she was struck by how he made her feel. Seen, valued, enjoyed. He wasn't trying to win her attention. He was genuinely interested in giving his attention to her. This is the beautiful paradox of love. When you stop trying to get love and start learning to give love, love comes to you. When you love others the way God loves you, unconditionally, generously, joyfully, people are drawn to that kind of love. You become a reflection of God's heart, and people are naturally drawn to experiencing God's love through you. Not because you're trying to attract them, but because love naturally attracts. Rest in this truth tonight. You are loved so that you can love. You are blessed so that you can bless. You are seen so that you can see others. The love you give is never wasted. It always returns to you multiplied. Feel this love flowing through you, from God to your heart, from your heart to others, and back to you again. This is the river of love in which you live and move and have your being, the symphony of purpose. Your life is a symphony. Each day a note, each season a movement, and love, when it comes, doesn't replace your music. It harmonizes with it. The one thing that makes someone love you twice as much is hearing the beautiful song of your purpose. Maria had always thought love would complete her, fill the gaps in her life, give her reason to exist. But during her years of singleness, Maria discovered something wonderful. She already had a song to sing, a purpose to pursue, a reason to wake up each morning with joy. Maria threw herself into her work as a teacher, not as a distraction from loneliness, but as a calling to fulfill. She mentored young women. She traveled during her summers. She learned new skills. She served in her church. She built a life that was full and meaningful. The one thing that made someone love Maria twice as much was witnessing her passion. The way her eyes lit up when she talked about her students. The way she pursued growth and learning. The way she had dreams and goals that extended beyond finding a relationship. When Carlos met Maria, he wasn't just attracted to who she was. He was inspired by who she was becoming. Here was a woman with vision, with purpose, with a life that was already beautiful and complete. He wanted to be part of that story, not because she needed him, but because together they could create something even more beautiful. Purpose, dear one, is not something you find through another person. It's something you discover in relationship with God. And when you're living your purpose, when you're walking in your calling, you become magnetic in the most beautiful way. Tonight, consider the song God has placed in your heart, the dreams He's given you, the ways He's equipped you to serve and love and create. Your purpose is not on hold until love comes. Your purpose is preparing you for the love that's coming. Let your breathing slow as you rest in your identity as someone with divine purpose, created for good works, equipped for meaningful contribution, designed to make a difference in this world. The dance of seasons. Life moves in seasons, and love stories are no different. There are seasons of planting, seasons of growing, seasons of harvest, seasons of rest. Each season has its purpose. Each season has its beauty. Gabriel learned to love the seasons of his story. The single years when he traveled and explored and became comfortable with solitude. The dating seasons when he learned what he valued in partnership. The relationship that ended and taught him about forgiveness and growth. The season of waiting that taught him patience and trust. Each season prepared Gabriel for the next. No season was wasted. No season was punishment. Each was a necessary part of becoming the man who could love well and be loved well. The one thing that made someone love Gabriel twice as much was his appreciation for seasons. The way he didn't rush or force or panic. the way he found beauty in each chapter of his story, the way he trusted that God's timing was perfect timing. When Isabella met Gabriel, she was drawn to his peace with process. Here was a man who understood that good things take time, who could wait well, who could enjoy today while anticipating tomorrow, who trusted God's timing more than human schedules. Tonight, beloved, embrace the season you're in. If you're in a season of singleness, receive the gifts this season offers. Solitude for intimacy with God, freedom to pursue dreams, time to become whole. If you're in a season of dating, learn what love looks like in action. If you're in a season of relationship, grow in commitment and sacrifice and joy. Every season has its purpose in preparing you for lasting love. Trust the season you're in. Find its beauty. Receive its gifts. Know that God is using this very season to prepare your heart for the love story He's writing. Feel your body relaxing into acceptance of divine timing. Feel your spirit resting in God's perfect orchestration of your story. You are exactly where you need to be, the river of joy. Joy, this beautiful fruit of knowing God. This is perhaps the most attractive quality of all. Not happiness that depends on circumstances, but joy that flows from knowing you are loved, known, held, purposed. Naomi discovered joy in the most unlikely place. In the middle of a long season of unanswered prayers, friends were getting married around her. Her biological clock was ticking. Her family kept asking when she would settle down. But instead of becoming bitter, Naomi chose to dig deeper for joy. She began to thank God for small gifts: morning coffee, sunset colors, laughter with friends, meaningful work. She chose gratitude as a daily practice. She celebrated others' love stories instead of being jealous. She found reasons to smile even when her own dreams seemed delayed. This joy, this deep, settled gladness, transformed Naomi's presence. People wanted to be around her, not because she was always happy, but because she carried something peaceful and hopeful. She radiated contentment. She made others feel lighter. The one thing that made someone love Naomi twice as much was experiencing her joy. When Samuel met Naomi at a wedding, he was immediately drawn to her laughter. The way she celebrated the bride and groom with genuine delight. The way she seemed to enjoy life. The way she found reasons to smile. Joy is attractive because it's rare. In a world full of complaint and anxiety and dissatisfaction, someone who has learned to live joyfully stands out. They become a refuge, a source of light, a reminder that life is good. Tonight, consider the sources of joy in your life. God's faithful love, His beautiful creation, His good gifts, His faithful promises. Let gratitude fill your heart. Let joy settle in your spirit. Choose to see the good gifts that surround you even now. This joy, this settled gladness in God's goodness, this will make love come alive in your life. Not because you're trying to attract someone, but because joy is attractive. It draws people toward the light. Breathe in God's goodness. Breathe out gratitude. Feel joy settling in your heart like morning. Sunshine, the garden of patience. Patience, this beautiful virtue that trusts God's timing over human urgency. This quiet confidence that believes good things are worth waiting for. This may be the most challenging aspect of love's journey, but it's also one of the most transformative. Rebecca learned patience through many seasons of almost in love, almost engaged, almost settled. Each almost taught her something valuable about herself, about love, about God's perfect timing. Each almost prepared her for the yes that would come. Patience doesn't mean being passive. Patience means being actively trustful. It means living fully in the present while believing in God's good future. It means continuing to grow and serve and love while waiting for love to arrive. The one thing that made someone love Rebecca twice as much was her patience. Not with him, though that would come, but her patience with God's process. The way she had learned to wait well, to trust divine timing, to believe that God's delays were not God's denials. When Matthew met Rebecca, he was amazed by her settled spirit. Here was someone who wasn't frantic or desperate or settling. She had learned to wait for God's best rather than accepting human good enough. She trusted God's heart even when she couldn't see his hand. This patience, this trust in divine timing, it created space for real love to grow. Not love born of desperation or fear or loneliness, but love born of choice and recognition and deep appreciation. Patience had taught Rebecca that she was worth waiting for, and this knowledge made her willing to wait for someone who recognized her worth. Patience had taught her that good things take time, and this understanding made her appreciate love when it finally arrived. Tonight, dear one, let patience settle in your heart. Not the patience of resignation, but the patience of trust. Not the patience of giving up, but the patience of believing that God's timing is perfect timing. Feel your breathing slow. Feel your spirit rest in God's sovereign care over your story. You are held in perfect love. Your story is unfolding exactly as it should. The light of authenticity in a world of carefully curated images and filtered presentations. Authenticity shines like a rare jewel. The courage to be genuinely yourself, to show up as you actually are. This is revolutionary. This is attractive. This is the foundation of lasting love. Christopher had spent years trying to be what he thought others wanted. He studied what seemed to work for other guys. He crafted the perfect online dating profile. He said what he thought women wanted to hear. But masks are exhausting to maintain, and eventually, Christopher grew tired of pretending. Slowly, carefully, Christopher began to show up as himself. He admitted when he was nervous. He shared his actual interests, even the ones that seemed unpopular. He laughed at his own jokes. He asked genuine questions because he was genuinely curious. The transformation was remarkable. Conversations became more interesting. Connections became more real. And when love came, it came to the real Christopher. Not the version he thought would be more acceptable. The one thing that made someone love Christopher twice as much was his authenticity. When Jennifer met Christopher, she was refreshed by his genuineness. Here was someone who wasn't performing or pretending. He was just himself. Real, honest, occasionally awkward, completely genuine. Authenticity creates space for real connection. When you show up as yourself, you give others permission to do the same. When you're real, you attract people who appreciate reality. When you're genuine, you create relationships built on truth rather than pretense. Tonight, consider the relief of being known, really known, and accepted anyway. This is what God offers you. Complete knowledge paired with complete love, and this is what He's preparing you to offer another. You don't have to be perfect to be lovable. You don't have to be flawless to be worthy of love. You simply have to be yourself, authentically, courageously, beautifully yourself. Let your breathing carry away any pretense, any need to perform or prove. Rest in the truth that you are lovable exactly as you are. Right now, in this moment. Perfectly imperfect and completely beloved. The symphony of wholeness. Wholeness, this beautiful state of being complete in yourself, while remaining open to partnership. This is perhaps the most attractive quality of all. Not perfection, but wholeness. Not having it all figured out, but being at peace with your journey. Amanda discovered wholeness during her longest season of singleness. After her last relationship ended, she found herself alone for the first time in years. At first, the silence felt empty, but gradually she began to hear something beautiful in the quiet. She began to hear her own voice. Amanda learned to enjoy her own company. She discovered hobbies that brought her joy. She deepened friendships that would support her through every season. She learned to make decisions based on her own values rather than trying to please others. Wholeness doesn't mean having no needs or desires. Wholeness means being content as one person while remaining open for partnership. It means bringing your complete self to relationship rather than looking for someone to complete you. The one thing that made someone love Amanda twice as much was her wholeness. When Daniel met Amanda, he was drawn to her completeness. Here was someone who had a full life, meaningful friendships, personal interests, spiritual depth. She wasn't looking for someone to fill gaps in her life. She was looking for someone to share the fullness of her life. This wholeness created space for healthy love. Love that multiplied joy rather than filled emptiness. Love that enhanced life rather than rescued from loneliness. Love that chose each other rather than needed each other. Wholeness is attractive because it's peaceful. It doesn't demand or cling or manipulate. It simply is. And being itself, it draws others who appreciate peace and completeness and joy. Tonight, rest in your wholeness. You are complete in Christ. You are beloved of God. You have everything you need for life and godliness. You are whole, whether you're in a relationship or not. Your worth doesn't depend on another person's recognition. Feel this wholeness settling. In your spirit, feel the completeness that comes from knowing God. Feel the peace of being enough, exactly as you are. In this moment, the dance of surrender. And now, beloved, we come to the heart of it all. The one thing that changes everything. The secret that makes love multiply. The beautiful truth that transforms how you give and receive love. It's surrender, sweet, peaceful surrender, to the one who designed love itself. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is giving over. It's releasing your death grip on how you think your story should unfold and trusting it to the author of love himself. When you surrender your love life to God, something beautiful happens. The desperate edge disappears. The anxiety fades. The need to control every detail releases. And in that space of surrender, love finds room to grow. Emma learned surrender the hard way. She had planned her love story down to the smallest detail. She knew what age she wanted to be married, what her wedding would look like, how many children she wanted and when. She had a timeline and a plan and expectations, but life doesn't always follow our plans. Relationships ended, dreams were delayed, timelines shifted, and Emma found herself facing a choice: hold tighter to her plan or surrender it to God. The surrender wasn't easy. It felt like letting go of control meant letting go of her dreams. But slowly, gently, Emma began to release her grip. She began to pray not just for what she wanted, but for what God wanted. She began to trust that God's plans for her were good, even if they looked different from her own. This surrender, this beautiful release, changed everything about Emma's approach to love. She stopped forcing doors that weren't ready to open. She stopped trying to make relationships fit her timeline. She stopped settling for less than God's best because she was afraid of missing out. The one thing that made someone love Emma twice as much was witnessing her surrender, her trust, her peace with God's timing. When Marcus met Emma, he was drawn to her settled spirit. Here was someone who wasn't anxious about the future, who could be fully present in conversations, who trusted God enough to wait for his best. Surrender creates space for God to work. When you stop trying to orchestrate every detail of your love story, God has room to write something more beautiful than you could have imagined. When you trust his heart, he can exceed your expectations. But surrender isn't just about timing. It's about the kind of love you're asking for. When you surrender your love life to God, you